Betrayal in the family. The shocking truth about my brother and wife. After a sudden decision to go home for the New Year's weekend, and after my many attempts to convince her to stay, Karen left. When we met again at university after the holidays, she was the same, herself, and I suspected nothing. 2 weeks later, we found out she was pregnant. Karen admitted that she wasn't sure if the baby was mine or David's, but with no way to prove it, she decided to stay with me, as I was the more trustworthy of the two brothers. That was why we got married. My world was falling apart. The son I had loved so much. Maybe he wasn't even mine. I asked Karen if she had been intimate with David recently, and she slowly admitted it. She confessed that they had been having an affair for a while, lying about work and business trips, which were really romantic getaways with him. I asked her why she married me if she wanted my brother, and she said she didn't want to ruin the marriage and thought I would make a great father to our son. I realized everything had been a mistake, but I decided to walk away. Karen begged for my forgiveness and asked me to fight for her, saying that every marriage has its flaws and children shouldn't grow up in broken homes. I reminded her that I wasn't even sure the baby was mine, and this made her cry more, accusing me of being cruel. I knew there was nothing that could make me stay in the marriage. After leaving, I went to my parents' house and told them everything about Karen and David's affair, including secret details that had caused me so much pain. They were shocked, but at first my mother defended David, saying he could never do something like that. I decided to call David in front of them and confronted him. At first he tried to deny everything, but when pushed, he began to admit his actions, trying to shift the blame onto Karen. I had expected this, but I was prepared, and I told my parents that he had admitted everything. My father was deeply disappointed with him and told him that his actions had betrayed the whole family. David was punished by being cut off from college funds and all financial support, learning that his attempts to shift blame had no meaning. After that, I tried to rebuild my life. I separated from Karen and went through a legal process that ended with a paternity test confirming that David was the father of the child. This hit me even harder than the betrayal itself, but I decided to stay strong and face the consequences. After the divorce, I felt a sense of freedom and began a new life. 2 weeks later, my father informed me that he was considering changing his will to leave everything to me and nothing to David. David called to apologize, explaining that he was going through a tough time and needed help. I hung up the phone, reminding him that he had brought this upon himself and that I could no longer wait for his return into my life. At that point, David started crying, asking for forgiveness, but for me it was too late. That was the last time I spoke to him.